Hey, what's up, Joe Joe in the morning, family, and happy Friday. We're going to finish this week strong. Got something really good I want to share with you on this podcast broadcast. Hey, if you can't ever find me for Joe Joe in the morning on YouTube or Facebook, it's always on Apple Podcasts. We got all of our videos on there. Also, we have Prophetic Weekly and our Sunday morning message. It's called The JoJo Show. Pretty unique name, right? Right. Okay, so you can always go over there and find everything. Y'all ready? Me too. 1 second. I had to give me a little drink of coffee. There we go. We're going to start off today with Romans 12:18. If possible, so far as it depends upon you, live peaceable with all people. Now I'm going to break this scripture down in the way I perceive it. If possible, as it depends on you, try to live peaceable with all people. You try to live in peace with all people. It says, as it depends on you. If somebody does not want to live at peace with you, I'm going to tell you about your 3 new best friends. Ladies say 3, men say 3, okay? Your 3 best friends. Block, hide, delete. I know a lot of people don't like when I say that, but nothing is worth your peace. Now, a lot of people, they don't care what people say. I don't care what people say. I get so many negative things sent to me, it just doesn't bother me anymore. But I don't want to look at it. If someone is constantly come at me, block, hide, delete, I do pray over them. God bless you. Go somewhere else with your trash. Live peaceable with all people. There was a guy in town, just doesn't like me because he's deceived. Just doesn't like me. And every time he sees me, he has some slight remark. And you know what? I pray for the guy. He has a broken marriage. He's a brokey. Nothing's working. He's one of those guys that's been a part of 7 churches in 5 years, those type people. Just really can't keep a job. And one day I just walked up, he was saying something harsh to me. I put my arm around him. I said, hey, you know what? I like you. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, I like you because you speak your mind. You just say what you're feeling. No one has to worry about what you think. He said, so are we friends? I said, no, not at all. But you know what? You're okay. And I patted him on his back and went on about my day. He didn't want to live at peace, but I didn't let it steal my peace. He has no peace. I got a lot of peace. But you know what? I responded in peace. You're not going to believe what happens next time I saw that guy. He just said, hey, Mr. Dawson. I said, hey, how's it going? He goes, and walked off. That's a start. I live peaceful, people. But here's the thing. I have boundaries. Listen to me. One of the reasons you lose your peace is because you do not have boundaries. I have boundaries. Not everybody needs full access to you. I said what I said. Now, when you make a post like this, it's usually the petty people with the 1980s curtains. They dislike that. Well, I disagree with you. Yeah, and I click their picture. The curtains are from the 80s, and they're usually broke, and they're petty, and nothing's working in their life. Okay? Think about Jesus. Now, a lot of people are driven by money, right? Money. It's good to have money. But the guy with the money in the Bible, the rich young ruler, he was not just a ruler. He wasn't just young. He was rich. Came up to Jesus and said, oh, Jesus, I'm 99% in with you, but I got money. Jesus was like, man, my Father's house, they walk on streets of gold. He wasn't impressed with it, okay? And what you got to understand is a lot of times people will come, but the boundary Jesus had was just give me everything and you will get everything. You think you have everything, but you don't. If you come to me, you will get everything. He wanted him to lay it down to gain everything, but he wouldn't do it. Jesus had a boundary with somebody with finances that most people say, oh, I'll overlook this one flaw because you got money. I remember one time I was doing some consulting and this pastor was telling me about different problems in his church. And I just said, whoa, Pastor, every problem you have in your church goes back to one man in your church. Yeah, but he's like our biggest giver. I said, get rid of him. Tell him you're not doing that. You're not doing what you're doing to people in this church. And it was very inappropriate. I'll leave it there. So the guy left the church. In 3 years, the church doubled. Got rid of the problematic things because the guy kept crossing boundaries with people, like strong boundaries. And so because he thought he was the biggest giver, he could do that. And I told that pastor, like, hey man, look, here's the deal. Live peaceably with all people. But when they crossed the boundaries, Jesus was not moved by people's finances, okay? Jesus was not moved by people's finances like that. He's moved by where they were, okay? You got to understand that. Set your boundaries in life. Live peaceably with people, but set boundaries, okay? And that is to protect you. It is to protect your peace. If you want to live in continual peace, like when I talk to people like in a mentoring program and I feel a little shakiness in their voice, I say, okay, you don't have the full realm of peace that we need to have. What's going on? We start talking about it. And 9 out of 10 times, there are things they could get rid of in their life that would welcome more peace into their life. But, well, I want to be a good person and I want to keep my hand extended towards somebody that keeps biting you. No. A lot of times when you pull away, it will show somebody, hey, I need to live my life right. Not everybody has access to your voice. Not everybody has access to your life. Okay? And I had somebody message me, and probably will have some messages on this. One time somebody said, well, this is probably about 3 years ago. How can you say that? And so I called one of our admins. I said, I want you to count up how many texts, phone calls, notifications, messages that we get like over the next 3 days. And they had ranged anywhere from like 500 to 800 in a day. And so now everything's grown since then, but like there's no way I can get to everything. So not everybody gets access to what we do, but our closer inner circle does. The people in our inner circle, they give us life. They don't steal my peace. They add value to me. Okay. I got ready to join there was a guy that I wanted him to speak into my life, and he had these different mentoring programs. And so I found out which level I wanted to get into. And so I'm getting into that, and it's costly, but it's worth it. But this guy has such a powerful ministry, and he's so good in ministry. He's good in business, and he's great in family. So he has a lot to offer. And so to get in his inner circle, there's a cost to it. A lot of people want everything for free in life. I remember one day I was young, and I got a chance to preach at a bigger church, and the church had over 1,000 people in it, and I said, Pastor, how do you? And I was in a church of a few hundred. I said, how do you minister to all these people? He said, oh, from the pulpit. I said, well, how do you take care of all these people? He said, oh, I have people that are in my inner circle that we train to turn around. And he said, I can't reach everybody. And so a lot of people want to try to talk to me, but I can't simply get to them. A lot of times in life, we wear ourselves out and lose peace trying to reach everybody. Okay? One of the most powerful stories is the story of the dad and the little boy walking along the beach. And the little boy kept getting these starfish and throwing them back into the ocean, and the dad was like, son, you can't save all the starfish. But the son says, no, but I can save some. That's why Autumn and I started our mentoring program. I can't respond to, some days we get over 1,000 messages. I can't respond to all of them, but what I can do is the people in our mentoring program, the people at Roar Church Texarkana that are in my inner circle, I can minister to them. And so I can speak life into them and help them have a better capacity in life to have more peace, to create the function that God has for them to move forward in. Okay? 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your anxieties upon the Lord because the Lord cares. If you have fear, if you have anxiety, understand that you cast it upon the Lord, and the Lord will give you peace. Life is too valuable and too short for you to carry anxiety. Life is too short for you to carry fear. You got to be full of the things of God, full of the power of God, and let things roll in your life. So one more scripture for you. Strive, Hebrews 12:14. Strive for peace with everyone, for the holiness without it no one will see the Lord. Don't let anybody come into your life and take you away from God. There is nobody in this world worth taking you away from the holiness of God, the things of God, the consecration of God. A lot of times people, hey, once you watch this, I don't watch stuff like, hey, listen, I don't listen to stuff like this. Hey, listen, you got to walk in the things of God. You got to be who God has called you to be. And when you're doing that, you can have peace. Even before our Jesus knew that he was going to the cross, he talked about us carrying his peace, even though he knew what he was going to go through. You need to live your life set apart to the things of God. You need to have people speaking in your life that are set apart to the things of God. And I'm telling you, friends, we're living in a season right now that the world is getting darker and the kingdom builders are building bigger. Build according to the Spirit of God. Keep the peace of God in your life and you will see things radically change. Now I got 2 websites I want to tell you about. If you want to know about our mentoring program, Next Level with JoeJoeAutumn.com. We got 3 tiers, and then we have a program on there for you, a 90-day program. Also, we have JoeJoeDawson.net for anybody who wants to become a monthly partner or send in a prayer request, okay? Love you guys, and y'all have a super, super blessed weekend. Hey, what's up, social media family? We have an exciting announcement for the Next Level Mentoring Program. We are now offering a 12-week course called the FastTrack.
In the FastTrack, you will have a customizable track that you can follow for 12 weeks of accelerated growth in whatever area of ministry, life, or business you want to grow in.
You know, we're really getting this program to set you up to win in life, to succeed. For 12 weeks, Autumn and I are going to be in your life on a weekly phone call to help challenge you over 12 topics to help move you forward and advance the kingdom assignment on your life.
For more information, you can click on the description box below to find out how to get started on the FastTrack.
And remember, we're always in your corner.